Nearly a year on, still no arrests and no suspects in his death, but a criminal investigation is ongoing. Court documents unsealed Monday show bottles of opioid painkillers were found in several parts of his home. We know Prince died from an accidental overdose of fentanyl, the strongest painkiller on the market, but we still don't know how he got it. Some of the bottles were in the name of his former drummer and longtime friend, reportedly to protect Prince's privacy.
So joining us now for more on this, the latest in the investigation is Attorney Sara Azari and also addiction specialist Dr. Reef Karim. Thank you guys for both being here.
Sarah, to you, I mean, none of the medications were actually prescribed to Prince as we understand it. If that is true, what are the penalties for the doctor who did the prescribing and the individuals who went and picked up the stuff?
Well, here's the thing. The doctors, nowadays, doctors are being prosecuted left and right. They can't hide behind the white lab coat anymore. And it's no different than a heroin dealer on the street. And every person who is doing something in that drug supply chain is going to be liable. So in this case, if Reef and I were talking about this actually just now, if the doctor knew that this was going to go to Prince and was writing the prescriptions to Johnson's name, then both Johnson and the doctor are liable. If he was writing it to Johnson not knowing who it's going to, and Johnson was then giving Prince his own medication, then Johnson is definitely liable. But, you know, this doctor made inconsistent statements. Initially, he said that he did write opiate prescriptions to Prince in somebody else's name, I think Johnson's name, and now he's denying ever writing a prescription that went to Prince that he knowingly may have written.
And one of the reasons why he said he put it in, you know, the friend's name is because he wanted to protect Prince's privacy. Is that in any way legally a mitigating factor here?
It's not. Look, aliases were sort of looked over. They were not being prosecuted in these instances. But nowadays, with this whole crackdown over doctors, they are actually criminalizing this behavior. So you can't write, it's a false name. An alias is a false name. It's not your legal name. And the purpose of having these triplicate prescriptions, Reef can probably back me up on this, is so that you can track them and know who is using them. So if you're going to cover that up with an alias, and that makes it all the more difficult. And by the way, Prince had an alias. It was, I believe it was Peter Bravestrong, and it was not Johnson. And so,
And the problem is we have such a bad epidemic right now going on that we have to be able to track these medications through the state and federally. And if all we have are all these alias names, we don't know who's getting what.
And by the way, if criminal liability can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, these people are all looking at up to 10 years for secondary manslaughter in Minnesota. So it's very serious.
Reef, very quickly, 10-second answer. Is this investigation moving slowly?
I think so. I think a year was a long time just to find out what we found out today. You know.
Okay. Sarah and Reef,
thanks for having us.
Always appreciate it. Thank you.